Good evening, everybody. Good evening. How's everybody doing? This evening? One second. I hope that all is well with each and every one of you. So I want to thank everybody for joining me on tonight. Tonight is Dialogues with Doc. So I'm so excited that each of you is taking the time to log on tonight just to kind of see what's going on, to kind of see what I wanted to talk about, to just kind of do something different. Wanted to do something different. So I had this bright idea to do a dialogue conversation. So I thank you guys for joining me. And I want to kind of kick this thing off with a quick check-in. Shout out where you are from, where you're watching from tonight. If you can do a quick check-in for me, type in the chat where you are watching from for me this evening. Let's see what we got. What we watching from this evening. Hope that all is well with each and every one of you. Hope that you have all had an amazing day. Hope that you guys didn't work too hard. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second, y'all. I'm over here clicking this thing. Got a technical difficulty or two, but we're going to make it pop. Give me 1 second. All is well with each and every one of you. Hope that you have all had an amazing day. We'll make it pop. Give me 1 second. All right. I see New Hampshire is in the building. Hey, Leslie. Hey, Jazz, Harrison, Stefan. All is well with each and every one of you. See you guys. Hope that you have all had an amazing day. We'll make it pop. Give me 1 second. All right, I see New Hampshire is in the building. Hey, Leslie. Hey, Jazz, Harrison, Stefan. For each and every one of you. Hope that you have all had an amazing day. We'll make it pop. Give me 1 second. Can you guys hear me okay? All right, I see New Hampshire is in the building. Hey, Leslie. Hey, Jazz, Harrison, Stefan. For each and every one of you. Hope that you have. All right. Got some feedback. I do apologize, guys. I'm working through the kinks. I saw New Hampshire. I saw Windsor Mill. I saw my friend Leslie from Baltimore. I appreciate you guys so much for chiming in. So I want to kind of give you the preface behind who I am, what I do, and why I decided to do this thing. I'm trying to get you guys comments to show up on this thing. Give me 1 second. Is my mic on? Are we good? Cool. So basically tonight, what I wanted to do was kind of come on and just share my heart. Tonight's dialogue conversation is simple, but before we get into it, I want to share with you guys exactly who I am, what I do. So my name is Dr. Calvin Green. I am a native of Dallas, Texas, and I currently live and reside in Washington, D.C. I'm an educator by profession. However, I do have a
consulting firm called Doc Verde Consulting. And with Doc Verde Consulting, I do a multitude of things. So I do publishing and printing for new authors. So if you have a book or a book idea, my job is to help you get that book idea from manuscript form to actually in your hand with the final product. So I do that. I also do leadership training and development for students. I do that by profession. I also do that at the collegiate level. So I do kind of more so of the leadership training and development for student leaders. And I also do the one we don't want to talk about a lot, which is church leadership training and development. So a lot of us have been in church all of our lives. A lot of us actually have certain leadership roles, but a lot of times what I find in churches is that a lot of churches will hire someone outside to come in and do training and development, and they oftentimes don't look like us. So I decided to extend my brand by doing leadership training and development for church leaders as well. And the last thing that I decided to do today was do a dialogue conversation about just a host of various topics that I wanted to get into. So we're going to have like a little chat and chew conversation type thing going on here. I hope that all is well with each of you. But before we get started, I want to say that you guys have to get your cocktail or get your water or get your whatever you're drinking. You see me, I have some high quality H2O right here. It's not open, so I'm going to pour me some water. If you follow me on social media, I did say on the 1st of August that I challenge each and every one to set a personal and professional goal for themselves. So I'm drinking water today because one of my personal goals was no alcohol for the month of August. So I'm being very transparent with each and every one of you. COVID has kept us in the house a lot, so we find different creative things to do. And so I just said, I want to do a personal goal of actually just drinking more water. I'm actually on my healthy kick, so I'm doing a lot more walking and things like that. So that's what I'm doing. So what I want to do tonight with tonight's topic is I want to talk about life. Tonight I want to talk about life and just all of the different things that comes actually with life. So tonight's topic is on the importance of your dash. So tonight's topic is actually on the importance of your dash. Does anybody out there think or know what I mean by your dash? What is your dash? Does anybody know what their dash means? You can type it in the comments. What is your dash? Alcohol for the month of. What's your dash? Anybody know what their dash is? Let me see what y'all are saying. Give me 1 second. And in order to do this show correctly, I felt like I needed some help out here. I see you, Carl, the dash between the beginning of life and the end. Harrison, I see you, dash equals guidance or compass. BJ, I see you. I see you. So give me 1 second. Sometimes you forget how good water is because you don't drink it as much as you should. Y'all pray for me. Pray for your boy. Stefan, you said your dashboard. Yeah, your dashboard in your car, man. Hey, Floyd, I see you, brother. Thank you for joining in. The dash is why you're here. I see you, JP. The dash is that period between your birthday and your death date. All of you guys are on it tonight. All of you guys are on it. Oftentimes, we don't do the best job with our dash. So your dash date is definitely the year you were born or your birth date and your actual death date. So the dash is what's in between. So a lot of times we don't focus on the dash because we're so caught up in just living life. We're just going through the motions. We're just going through the same norms and things like that. And we oftentimes don't get to live life to the fullest. So for some people, their dash is not fulfilled. I want to say that what really made me come up with this topic tonight was, as an educator in DC, one of the things that has really been disheartening for me this summer is the fact that there's been a lot of violence in the city throughout the summer. So with that violence, as an educator, what has come and what has taken place is a lot of the students that I have had an opportunity or a chance to serve over the last, starting my 5th year at this current school, over the last 5 years are getting killed due to senseless violence. Had one young lady who was at a cookout, stray bullet. Had another student previously who was in the wrong place at the wrong time and was killed. So I am constantly seeing 18, 19, 20-year-old former students of mine getting killed each and every day. So in essence, they have not had a chance to fulfill or even tap into the fulfillment of their dash. So that's really unnerving to me as an educator, because a lot of times we work with the babies each and every day. We're their confidants. We're their surrogate moms and dads. We're their cash out buddies when they need $5 here or there to get something to eat, or they need something else than that. So we're that support system for them. So a lot of them are not getting the chance to fulfill the dash that is between their birth date and their death date. So that's kind of what I wanted to talk about tonight. I just wanted to have a casually engaging conversation about the dash, about what the dash means, and just kind of take some time to encourage someone to see what they're actually doing with their dash. What's actually going on with your dash? What are you doing with it? Have you even tapped into it? Or are you in a space where you feel like you don't feel fulfilled? So that's kind of what we're going to talk about on tonight. So I thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to join me on tonight. Think about, I'm actually waiting on my guest to log on because I did bring in some help on tonight to help me talk about this dash. So this kind of let me know what in the chat. Can you let me know what do you think? What do you think the dash ultimately? What do you think the dash can? I want to say this the right way. Why do you think so many young people's dashes are being cut in half? Why do you think so many young people's, and I'm saying under 21, why do you think so many young people's dashes are being cut in half? And I see BJ on here. I see Jasmine. So I have some parents on here as well. I see my big brother Floyd in the room. I see Shy. Let me know, what do you think from your perspective about some of the students that we serve or that we serve by default? Some of their dashes are being kind of cut in half. Let's talk about it. Curiosity, DJ Rob, man, I see you, brother. How are you, man? It's been a minute. It's good to see you, man. BJ, I see you not understanding their impact and purpose in the world. I totally agree. Distracted by social media and the life that isn't realistic, a false reality. Yes, Harrison, you are so right. All of you guys are chiming in with very beneficial points regarding why these dashes are being cut in. Lack of guidance, not understanding their roles in the world. You're right, Jazz. And Stefan, environment, lack of access to resources, lack of guidance. All of you guys are chiming in quite perfectly. My sister's in the building, DUS, following the crowd instead of carving their own lane. That is so important. What I'm finding as an educator, and I hate to say it like this because just being quite honest, I'm 40 years old now. So a lot of you guys are in the same age range as me. So I'm gonna be honest with you guys, working in education, we're now the drunk aunts and uncles at the cookout. So they don't have the same home training and same values and morals as we had growing up. We had that we had that extra hand, that extra covering on us from our cousins or from our aunts or from our community members or from people in the neighborhood. Miss Betty down the street that would tell your mama when you were doing wrong, when you were using profanity in front of her house. That teacher in the building at the school that could whoop you back then. I see my brother Rose in the building because they look up to the dashes ended, being cluttered or being cut out. I believe lack of community and support. I see you, Justin. Womack, being raised by uneducated parents who don't have a purpose with their own dash. That's good, Womack. That's good because a lot of times parents, and we find in education that parents are competing with their students, with their children because of the missed opportunities that they didn't have growing up. So we find that a lot happening in the lives of many of the young people that we serve. The Village, BJ, I see you. You're also correct. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you guys. Give me 1 second. Somebody trying to get in. All right. I'm going to change this thing up. Give me 1 second. I'm working through some of these kinks. I appreciate y'all rocking with a brother tonight because I'm okay. Give me 1 second. Let me get my guest on, y'all. Let me see. Copy clipboard. Okay, y'all, give me 1 second. I'm trying to get my guest on. Copy. Okay, let me get my girl on. Let's see. Okay, let me get my. I'm sorry, y'all. Give me 1 second. Trying to get my girl on. Y'all praying. Oh, y'all having a good conversation. I see you, Jazz. The generations are now so different. Children, raising children, the foundational support is not always there. Hold on. Copy. Okay. We had a village and accountability for all, not just our parents. We could also be children when it was time to be a child. There is no urgency with our youth to want to be grown so bad. Many of them are trying to survive the day-to-day goal, survive day-to-day. That goal setting isn't even part of their daily routine. I agree. Rich, don't get beat up this weekend, Teddy Riley. You got jokes. All right. We are good to go, everybody. So what I want to do is I want to bring on somebody to join this conversation with me. I love this lady. Me and this lady go way back. We have grown up together. We have been through a lot. So I really want to take the time to just thank her so much for coming on tonight. She is a mother. She is an author. She is an inspirational speaker. And to my understanding, I need to add some other stuff to her title as well. She is a life coach, a self-love coach. She's the host of other things as well. So please give a round of applause for Charlie Marco.
What up? What up? What up?
Charlie Marco in the building.
Hey, cousin.
What's going on, cousin?
Listen, you know I'm part of the Hot Mess Express, but you know I'm here. Got a first ticket, one-way ticket, first class, and the Hot Mess Express is all good in the hood. I'm happy to be here. Thank you for having me on your show. And you know, your cousin got to work it out. You know, I always have some technical difficulties, but
it's all right. It's all right. You in the building. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
So cousin, thank you for coming on. Tonight we are talking about the importance of your dash. So I've already asked the question in the chat, and everyone now knows that they didn't know that your dash is the thing between your birthday and your death date. So I'm talking about life on tonight and just the importance of your dash. So cousin, just go ahead and tell everybody a little bit about you, and then we're going to jump right back in the conversation and keep it moving.
Well, listen, I am a girl from humble beginnings, from Oak Cliff, Texas. Has been a big dreamer from the time I can remember. So it doesn't shock me when I shock the world, because I knew the importance of the dash. I knew that we are all born to do something great. Good is the enemy of great. And so I set out long time ago. I started on this road a long time ago to be great, to do great things. So I am an educator. That's where I get my insurance from. Hallelujah. So I am an educator by day, author, speaker, motivational speaker, podcast host, radio personality as well here in Houston. And so I just try to do all those things that God had put in me. You know, you read the story about the talents. He gave one person one talent. He gave another man 2 talents. He gave another person 5. I am the person that he gave 5 talents to. And so I try to double my talents, because I definitely want him to say, well done, thy good and faithful servant, when I make it to the pearly gates. So
well, cousin, you're doing your thing down there, and I just really love you. I really appreciate you for coming on tonight. You and I go way back. I told a story on your relaunch last week, because you had launched already, but God said launch again. So you relaunched everything concerning you last week. That you and I met, over 20 years ago now. Fall '98, University of Houston, in the UC, in the line to get a book voucher. I heard this girl behind me with just this bubbly, boisterous personality that I immediately turned around. And if my memory serves me correctly, I asked you a question.
I know that question.
Cousin, what was the question I asked you?
What grade you in?
What grade
you in? And I immediately knew. You know, I was just one of those people that, you know, you have to look out for the hometown.
Yeah.
I believe that our families were already connected, and we just hadn't met each other yet. And so when I found out it was you, it was like, okay, this is cousin. Let me take him under, you know, my wing. But, you know, I didn't want you to say that out loud to the people and be like, what? We're not in high school anymore.
Because I thought I was in the 13th grade. I'm sorry. I didn't know. I'm a first generation college student. I done pulled up on the yard. I got my little book voucher. I done went bought me 1 pencil and got $4.95 in cash back. So I didn't know what to do. I was trying to fulfill my dash.
Listen.
And go club a little bit.
And I still remember one prayer you asked the Lord to bless us from bumper to bumper, from the wheels to the roof. I said, oh, he all right with me, baby. He didn't ask the Lord to cover us down I-45, honey. You remember that?
Yeah, I remember.
Wheels to the roof. Yes.
So cousin, I'm gonna jump back in the conversation, and I'm gonna pose this question. So, and you guys can comment in the chat. Because, and just when you hear the question, has your dash been fulfilled? How does that resonate with you? How has your dash been fulfilled?
I would say no, it has not. There's always work to be done. And if you are in a room and you are the highest in the room, that means you need to change rooms.
Right.
because there's always something to do. There's always something to learn. There's areas that we can always grow in. So I'm gonna say the dash has not been fulfilled because I ain't ready to die. That means if my dash been fulfilled, that means I'm ready, and I'm
Right.
not Biggie Smalls. I'm not ready to die.
I'm not Biggie Smalls, cousin. You know what? You've always been. You've always been
ready to die. No, I'm not. So my dash has not been fulfilled. I don't believe that if you're still here, have breath in your lungs, the ability, the faculties that you can move and go. No, your dash has not been fulfilled. You need to deeply search within and ask, what is it that I can do? How can I be a blessing to somebody? I think we think our dash means to go on trips always. Sometimes your dash to be fulfilled is to help somebody along the journey. We go through what we go through to help somebody else along the way.
Somebody said in the chat, you also don't want to be the lowest one in the room. That's good. This topic is important. Cousin, I really want to tell you that you're an influencer, and I don't think you realize that. You easily influence people. When I asked, has the dash been fulfilled, just to let you know, I love that answer because it hasn't. I'm not ready to die. And when you're a light like you are, and you always have been since I've known you, light attracts light. That's why we're here. We're just connected to each other. So I thank you for answering that. Which takes me to my next question. What's the importance of a bucket list? So when you talk about this dash and you talk about dashes being fulfilled, well, let me ask this question first. Do you think a bucket list is important?
I'm going to say that's a twofold question.
Okay.
I'll explain why. What if I have all of these things on my list that I don't fulfill? Does that mean that my life wasn't important? Does that mean that I didn't accomplish anything in my life? Right? Now, I have a to-do list, and I might have some bucket things on there. But I don't want to I am not pigeonholing myself.
That's good.
To a list. I don't like people to pigeonhole me. So why should I pigeonhole myself? So if I put on my list to visit Africa, and if I die and I never visit, does that mean that my life was not fulfilled to its fullest? No, right? So I just work in to do. I need to do this.
This is my to-do list. I'm gonna do this.
My to-do list. I'm not gonna, because I'm not ready to kick the bucket just yet. I think that we focus on the small things and we miss the big picture. And so I think a bucket list is a small thing. Don't miss the big picture, right? So I might not make it to Africa, but I might make it to, Canada. That's something grandiose. That's something that I can say, whoa, I didn't get a chance to do. But I think bucket list puts holes on us.
Okay.
Very much so.
I agree. You guys that are in the chat, go ahead and answer the question. Do you think a bucket list is important? Or even change your way of thinking. Instead of saying bucket, this is my to-do list.
It's my to-do list.
I actually like the to-do list because it kind of puts me in the mindset of, I hate to say work, but you go into work and you make this to-do list of things that you want to accomplish.
Yeah.
But I don't want to bring that work energy over here in my personal space. Does that make sense?
I get that. But just like your to-do list at work, what you didn't accomplish for that Monday, it moves over to the Tuesday.
Somebody said to do is being intentional in living. I like that. To do is being intentional in living.
Yes. And because when I think about bucket, that means I'm kicking something away. I don't want to kick the bucket. I bring the bucket. I'm bringing the water.
I pay for the bucket.
I'm bringing the water, baby. So, I don't want to do a bucket. I'm going to do it today.
Yeah. I want to do a bucket. I got you.
You got it?
I got you. You making me change my way of thinking about it.
But you said I was an influencer. That's what an influencer does. An influencer changes the way that you think about different things. If again, the person said, I said the highest, so we're gonna take your person. the highest and the lowest. That means you need to change the room. That means you have nothing to learn from and you can't even contribute, right? So your to-do list needs to be to change the room, to get a new
Change the room.
Yeah. Because it's perspective. You know, that's why I relaunch the CM, Confident in Me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, changing mindsets. That's what I'm about. You got to change the way you think about the whole thing.
That mindset thing is important. Because many people don't think from that perspective. I'm getting some feedback. Hold on.
Come on, give us the feedback.
Okay, I think I'm good. So peep this. How is your dash tied to your destiny?
How is my dash tied to my destiny? Because the destiny must be fulfilled. Again, come on, Destiny's Child, right? The destiny must be fulfilled. Again, it goes back to that story. It makes no sense that you're sitting on talent and you're not using it, right? I think the more I utilize, your talents are like a muscle.
Mm-hmm.
And the more you utilize it, it gets you to your destiny, right? So, but if I never use it, if I never open my mouth, if I never write that book, if I never give that speech, how will people know who you are? People learn who you are when you put yourself out there, which helps guide you to your destiny.
You put yourself out there.
You got to put yourself out there. And you know, here's another Bible verse. He didn't give us the spirit of fear. People go, I'm scared. But how you gonna get there? How you gonna reach that point? How you gonna maximize your potential? He didn't give us the spirit of fear because we are wonderfully, fearfully made. And because of that, that's how I know I'm on my way to my destiny. The road might be rough. God, I've trudged along some things. The road is rough. The going is tough. But hey, when I get there, I'm like, hey, Lord, I thank you.
I love it.
You know I'm Southern. You know I grew up in the Baptist church. You know I can quote a good song. You know that's how we do. You know the going is rough. The going gets up.
Bring the hymns back. So cousin, listen. I want to ask you, why am I getting this feedback? This is annoying. Hold on. What's been your proudest moment in life?
I've had many, but let me tell you, the pinnacle was giving birth to my child. Proudest moment. I tell anybody, having my child, who will be 16, oh my God, in a few months, he saved my life. That's a part of my destiny. I think about where I was going, the road that I was heading down prior to giving birth to my son. I think that having him changed my trajectory. It settled me and gave me an understanding of why the purpose that I needed to fulfill, right? I was here to nurture the earth. And I started with my seed, which has culminated into a whole lot of seeds. I think I'm over 1,000 children now, 15 years in education, teaching, not even outside of the ones that I've advised at the collegiate level. But I think the proudest moment, I still remember that day when they handed me that beautiful bouncing 8-pound baby boy. And I was like, wow, I was young. I was 24 years old. I was unmarried, right? Kind of ashamed, but I sucked that up and I looked at the blessing. And because of that, I think a lot of people know who Charlie Marcole is. He grounded me enough to level me off for me to reach down deep within myself and say, okay, what legacy I want to leave? When I die, I want my son to be like, my mama was the bomb.com. Yeah, my mama talked a lot of noise, but she, affected children with her skills in education, and she empowered others. But it started with here, because everything starts at home. So I had to have him to empower him in order to know what that looks like outside the world. So you can't empower the world if you don't start in your home.
That's good. We focus so much on the world as educators. We're trying to save the world and forget about home most times.
So everything, I think a lot of people don't realize that everything starts at home. So if your proudest moment, another proud moment for me was, I was going to say my first book, I cried, right? I cried the last period. I typed that last sentence and I hit that period. I cried when I threw my head back, and it's because that's a labor of love. And I think a lot of people don't realize labors of love hurt. It is a birthing pain. And because I've experienced birthing pains for real, because your cousin, the G, I was like, I don't want no epidural, dog. I'm going to do this on my own. And I was like, 6 hours later, I was like, yeah, hold up, screw. Let me, please, nurse. But I'm glad I got to experience what real birthing pains look like and feel like, right? Because when I'm giving birth to the greatness that I'm trying to, produce, I understand it more. Like, so the tears, the frustration, the go back, the edit this, the go look at this, like, okay, you got to dive deeper into yourself and say, okay, how can I make this sound better? Right. How can I make this be better? And it's just, I take criticism as feedback. Don't take it as a failure. Take it as feedback. And that makes you better. And that, like, so my giving birth to that book and giving birth to my baby.
So talk about this second baby, this book. So tell us about.
The book that I'm working on now.
The first one.
The first one. Oh my God, that is from the florist to the forest, where I challenge women to think deep before they leap into marriage, right? Because we are caught up. Now, I got married during the age of Bridezilla. Okay. Now people got the pressure of Instagram, right? It's so much pressure in the world to keep up with the Joneses. And then I have to remind myself, I don't have to keep up with the Joneses because I am a Jones, right? Hey, the world needs to keep up with me. But nevertheless, because you were groomsmen in my wedding, I remember that. I was going through a really painful divorce, and it was like the Holy Spirit, in the stillness of the morning. Some of us are scared of that stillness in the morning. God speaks so clear when the noise is off. And when you like wake up in the middle of the night, you're like, what is this? I'm trying to go to sleep. And he's like, no, talk to me. And it was in the stillness of the morning, God said, you ain't the only one. You're not the only one that was more concerned about your wedding. You remember my wedding, cousin? It was nice. That the debt from that wedding lasted longer than that marriage. And that's where that came in. And so I talk about there's a boo for you. I talk about, is he really the one? Red flags that we tend to ignore. And I was very candid with that whole process. I just remember going in, like maybe in April, I was getting married that October. And I remember going into my prayer closet and asking God for the wedding to happen and not the marriage. And so when you focus on the superficial things, again, focusing on that small picture, that small thing, you miss the big picture, right? So you focus on the superficial things, right? You lose the real focus. And so I was focused on invitations. They was bad. Dresses. My dresses was bad. I know they was. That ballroom. Seat covers. But not even looking at him. And just like the children of Israel, I ended up in the wilderness, hence the forest. I asked no questions to the florist. Is these nosegay? What season are these roses? I asked more questions to the florist than I did my fiance at the time. And so that's hence the title, From the Florist to the Forest, because that's where I sure enough ended up at.
This feedback is killing me. It's bad. I'm trying to fix it, y'all. Shoot. Hello. Okay. From the florist to the forest.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you gave a word when you said so many people focus on the wedding and not the marriage, because of the way it's been so popularized and social media and your family's in your ear and you know just those type of things. You went through that. You came out with an even better glow than you had when you went into marriage. What's the biggest takeaway from? I mean, so besides the book that you wrote, that's basically an autobiography, in a sense. How has anyone shared with you that's read that book how that's helped them?
Oh, a lot, including men, right? Because women, we have a tendency to put that pressure, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that, and I shared in the book, I think that men think about the long-term commitment, right? Like, am I gonna be able to do this forever? Forever's a mighty long time, right? Like, I'm. Let's be honest. Like, I am a woman of truth. Forever is a mighty long time, and I think for us, we're just looking at right now. I'm dating you. You're Mr. Right Now, and I want to be able to say I got a husband. You know, like that is that is a buzzword. I'm here to tell you that is a buzzword, and it's deeper than that. And when people really think about marriage, is actually a ministry. It is an example of what God's love should look like on earth, right?
The covenant. Come on.
And then marriage is another, right? Because and you got to think about that deeper. And so people have shared, like, man, you have really, jogged some good points in this book. For me, I overlooked red flags. I can tell you, going down the aisle, I was like, ooh. Ooh, but I had thought about all the money that I had spent. I thought about the people that came from far. I thought about everybody else but myself. And at the end of the day, you got to think about what's best for you, not what it looks like. Don't get caught up in what it looks like. Get caught up in what it is. And if it is not what it is, it needs to be for you, you need to look the other way. Still clear.
And now the fact that you said that, and we're talking about this dash. So with this dash, you just shared how everything you've gone through affects the dash, and so you share how you went through that, and you were really in a really, really low place,
sunken place.
Sunken. Come on, get out. So you usually get out.
I need to get out. Was it a sunken place?
What was because you go through the process, you're in the sunken place, you come out of it, and you're still working through as it's affecting your dash. How did you know, like, okay, God, I get it. Okay, God's taking me out of this. I'm coming back. I feel my help coming. I feel my strength coming. You probably cut your hair again.
Well, let me tell you something about relationships. Relationships can take the ugly. No, they can take the pretty from you. Definitely. That's how you know when you're not yourself, right? Because when you're not yourself, you kind of shorten your dash. Think about the many people that were not fulfilled because they couldn't get out that place. Hallelujah, somebody, right? Like, their life, their blessing. Like, I didn't want to continue to stay there. And so when I read the story about the children of Israel, how it took them 40 years to get out of the wilderness, I didn't want that to be me. So every day it's a fight for you. I fight every day for me. So whatever I need to do to get me back to that place, that place of peace. See, let me tell you another song that I love. Oh, what peace we often forfeit. I was tired of forfeiting my peace.
Mm-hmm.
And whatever I needed to do to get to that place. So if I needed to write my way out, I was going to do that. If I needed to sing my way out, I was going to do that. If I was going to run my way out, I worked out like a champ. I actually need to find that person right there. Because see, the dance that I'm fulfilling now is fluffy. But that girl, she worked out. She worked out until she couldn't work out anymore. I got actually down to a size 6. But I was fighting for me to come up out of that dark place because of the light that God has put in me, that I needed to be able to shine, you know.
Shine bright like a diamond.
I needed to be able to shine.
Listen, okay, so that's so for the people that are watching, we talked about the first book. Where can they pick it up at?
You can pick it up at www.charliemarcole.com before I disable that site, or it's on Amazon actually.
It's on Amazon. And it's called From the Florist to
the Forest.
To the Forest. Now that's your second baby. Now you either getting ready to release your third baby or it's already done. The fourth.
No,
okay.
Baby number 4.
Okay, well, okay, baby number 4. Okay, catch me up. You've been writing. You should have been. You talking about going to school now to get this doctorate? You done wrote it already. Honestly, you just don't have a degree. Go.
Listen, I was researching today, cousin, like PhD programs that can help me marry. Like I need an advisor. Like the many years that I've advised people, now I need an advisor to help me find the doctorate that will help me marry all of that together. Yes. So the baby that I'm working on to, it is kind of like a shout out again to my grandmother, God rest her soul. And it's about a girl who's on a journey to find her during COVID, because COVID has released every crutch that we use to hide the sores, to hide the trials, to hide everything that we don't want to focus on and face. You got no choice now, but ain't no store open long enough. The mall ain't open long enough. You have to face it head on, look it in the eye, and say, "All right, boo, it's me and you. It's me and you." And it's a girl. You know, it's another buzzword we use, self-love. And everybody thinks self-love is going to buy Louboutins in the store, going to buy a new Louis. And let me add, and no shade, but you know, I know some trees. I want us, if we gonna go buy it, I want us to buy the real one. Like we can't pop off like, you know, I got the new Louis and your LVs never turn upside down. You know why? Because I'm a Louis V carrier. And I be like, I got the new Louis. No,
that's like
you got the new Fooey.
Like cousin, I know Michael Jordan had a belly.
Listen.
On the side of the Jays, come on now. If you're gonna do it right.
You're gonna do it right. You know, I mean, not do it till you're satisfied, but if you're gonna do it right. And so I think that, you know, like I said, we got it twisted. We think self-love is like a day at the spa, and that is a way to love yourself. But self-love is when you really love yourself and you say, you know, it's time out for the BS. Let's get down to the nitty-gritty. But you become a banana and you just start peeling away.
Right.
It's not always pretty. It is not always attractive. It's listen, my self-love days these days is running makeup. It's my hair all over my head because I ain't feeling it. I'm gonna stay in the bed and I'm gonna write this out. And so because I don't want to continue to carry that with me in other places and spaces.
Right. No, that's important. You know, you see the hashtag self-care Saturday, self-love. But most people or just posting it to post it to get some likes. They don't understand what it really means.
What that
and you're the self-love coach. Come on. Tell them.
When people say, "Oh, I went and got the Louboutins," but if you can't really afford it, you putting yourself, that's not loving yourself. Putting yourself in debt ain't loving yourself.
Right.
Or if somebody say, "I went down to Galveston to take a look at the water," I stayed there for hours. That's the part of loving yourself, because that's a conversation between you and God. And you ain't got to talk to nobody about it. Sometimes the atmosphere understands better than the human ear.
Come on, say it again.
Sometimes the atmosphere understands better than a human ear. A human ear always got something else to say. I don't want to hear your words. I know I messed up. I don't want to hear what you got to say. I know that's
right.
Wrong. I am rational with myself. I don't need, your 2 cents, 3 cents, and your quarter. Sometimes we have to learn how to be like Job. Friends. When Job was going through and really weeping, a part of self-love is weeping. You got to get it out. His friends sat there in silence. And because sometimes silence speaks when words cannot comfort. And so if I need you and I come to you and I'm talking to you about what's going on, I just need to get it out. I don't need your advice because you're not me.
Right.
You didn't date him, girl. You don't know this boy like I know him. Stop talking to me.
When you know them better than they know themselves.
That's what we back.
See, you always got me cutting up. We
I said we was gonna cut up. I'm gonna let you get back to your questions. I said
no. I mean, I'm reading the comments like everybody loves your personality. Like, cousin, I knew I needed that person to balance me out on this first dialogue because I'm talking about the importance of your dash, and I wanted to bring on somebody who has a zeal for life as much as I do. You love life. You're a self-love coach, and I knew there was something in you that God needed you to download. So God's very intentional with who he puts you in connection with. And so when I thought about this idea, and I said, this is what I want to talk about for my first show, God, let me pray to God and find out who he wants me to reach out to bring on. And then I text you. Like he's intentional in all that he does.
Yes. Yeah.
And when you over the 20 plus years that I've known you, you've always been a go-getter. I remember you. I remember you on the campus. You were actively involved, and then I remember you at one point, like I said, you were an academic advisor for a period of time, and then you worked at the radio station. You were a communications major in undergrad. Then you went and got your master's. Then you started teaching. Then you started doing all these other things. So you're somebody like that I describe like myself, who is just we're so all over the place, but it works for us. Like some people are just one lane and one lane only. We're so multifaceted that our dash is multifaceted. I can be in a room with Donald Trump, even though I don't care for him, but I can be in a room with Barack Obama as well. I know how to maneuver and shift in the right rooms and in the right circles and in the right groups, just like you do. So that's how God created us. That's how he instilled and embedded within us the different talents. Even though we talked about the 5, we know we have a whole lot more that he's instilled within us that we haven't even tapped into yet, because there's still things on our to-do list to accomplish.
Yes, to do, not bucket, because we're not kicking it, baby. We doing it.
We gonna do it.
Yes.
If I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it right.
Hey, do it right. Not do it till you're satisfied.
Not do it till you're satisfied.
Till you get it right.
So what's something you would like to do but haven't done it yet? What's still something on your to-do list that you'd like to do but haven't done it yet?
Oh my God. So I have decided to get this PhD. Mm-hmm. So I haven't done that yet. I have many degrees, certifications, haven't done that yet. And through my years of traveling all over the globe, I've yet to go to the home continent. That is a must for me. I must go. I did my DNA and I wanted to see how much African was I. Here's the killer thing. This is funny, right? Because we've been here 400 plus years. So I'm thinking, what? 33%, 50%.
Come on.
Right? But
You
they said 85% African. I said, what? We ain't been diluted at all, only 15%. And that right there was like, you gotta go, girl. Like, that's home. I already knew that I, was a descendant of a slave. But to find out like I'm 85%, like, wow. And like, I thought that my descendants come from Ghana. No, mine were Nigerian.
Wow.
So I actually did a DNA test. So I want to definitely do that. I want to be on the, I am a best-selling author, but I want to be a, Coretta Scott King, level of authorship. So it's some things in academia that I want to achieve, but more importantly, it's like, and then I feel like I haven't become a great mama. I think I'm a good enough mom. And so I want to be a great mom. I want to get out the good enough category. So that's why I say the satisfactory is that good enough. I want to be a great mom. And I fall short in that because I'm human. But so yeah, becoming a great mom, getting that PhD, and traveling to the home continent. And I want to learn how to tithe. I ain't really got that tithing thing down, but COVID has actually taught me how to tithe better. Because you know why we do it? Like, oh Lord, I'm going on this trip. You know my heart, God. But God, you know my heart. You know I love you. But I've been doing my job and getting better at tithing. I want to become like those old stewards and those old saints that like they give it first before they do anything else. Right. So I'm learning to get better in that. So I haven't quite mastered that, but that is something that I want to, because you can't be God's given. No matter how hard you try. And like, so I want to get in that level, right? Because you think about, our grandmothers now who are gone home to be with the Lord, but they didn't really want for nothing. And it's because they always gave God his first. And that is actually on my to-do list. I want to get better at that. I know that might seem trivial to some, but like I know for a fact, like I know people that don't make what we make, but they're richer than what we are. And you're like, what is it? And you're like, I give it up to God first. Woo!
First fruits. Giving them first fruits. No, I totally agree with you, especially now, because like you said, growing up, as kids, we looked to grandma and saw what was happening and what she was doing, but we never really understood that. But now we're in a place where we're adults and we're having to really have those, and especially with you have a teenager now, you have to really have that conversation with him as well, because you're training him up in the right way so that when he gets to be an adult, he understands the importance of it as well. But no, I totally get it. Okay, Lord, I'm supposed to go on this little trip and
yeah. So that is something that's on my to-do list, actually, to tithe better. And I believe when you say it out loud, you hear yourself and then you become very self-conscious of it. And so I'm saying it live on your platform. I want to become better in that. And that is something that I have not fulfilled. That is a steady, bi-weekly, I'm not going to call it an issue, but it's a struggle. And I want to get better in that.
Gotcha. Well, you're not by yourself. I'm in it. I mean, I tithe, as well. But you're right. At some points, it makes you like, okay, God, like especially now. But I find myself just doing it. I've done it more now during the COVID pandemic because it's like, okay, I haven't wanted for anything. I know where my help comes from. It's really become evident now because we still working. We still getting paid every 2 weeks. So God, go ahead and take this because I can't go nowhere, no way. So I totally understand. Cousin, I love you so much. I thank you for joining me tonight for this first show. You're nothing short of amazing. You came right on in. You jumped in the conversation. I really appreciate that. I love you so much. I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of the woman that you have continued to evolve into, because you never stop evolving. Because on your to-do list, you're always doing something. So I just thank you for coming on tonight and sharing with me. Thank you for imparting, because you preached. Why you playing? You came on here, not the bang. You came on here, you preach on the low. So, like Issa Rae say, every season, every episode of Insecure was low key. You low key preached tonight. So I'm gonna give you your flowers while you can still smell them. I tell everybody how they can follow you.
Okay, everybody, you can follow me. I am Charlie Marcole on every platform: Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Charlie Marcole. That's CharlieMarcol. And what I wanted to be my final word is continue to evolve. Even on your to-do list, evolve. Never resolve, because resolve means that it's coming to an end. In life, you want to always constantly evolve, and evolving involves eliminating. So if you are trying to get into new levels so your dash can be fulfilled, continue to evolve. And those people that's supposed to be there will be there. And those that's not will fall off.
Fall off. I love it. Thank you so much, cousin.
Thank you, cousin. You got me sitting up in my office. I don't do, my office much, but I'm like, this room kind of cute. I got some empowerment quotes on the wall. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, I'm gonna sit in my office and be cute. But hey, it's all good in the hood.
So what I'm gonna do before we jump off is I'm gonna add to what cousin said. Had a couple points I want to share as well to kind of add to the foundation that she laid on tonight. So the first thing I want to say to everybody that's watching is your dash is important. Mm-hmm. Don't ever let anybody make you feel like you're not impactful, like you're not inspiring, or that you're not encouraging somebody. Your dash is important no matter what room you're in. So remember, if you need to change rooms, change rooms.
Change rooms.
The next thing I want to say tonight, stop existing and start living.
All right.
Cousin, would you agree with that?
Sure, right. And it makes no sense to exist, right? Because not like, one thing older people used to do is work every day, and they never took a vacation, and they waited till they retired. And it's the story about a man who worked so hard, and he was going to go see the world when he retired. And the next day he ended up dying, right? But you have all of this money. Like, what does it gain the profit world? And then you lose don't sit up here and stack, and gonna wait. Like, no, start living. Start living today. You never know when your dash is gonna come to an end. So if you get to the pearly gates, he gonna say, well done, not good and faithful servant, or is he gonna say, go and go to the bank? I want to say, come on in. See, so you got to start living. Come on in. Come on in, girl. Baby, you did it. I want God to say, girl, you did it. You did it, honey. I gave you a little bit. You turn that little bit into a lot, baby. You all right with me? All right, God, we good.
Come on in, put your robe on.
Come on, put your robe and get in that choir up there with your grandma, okay?
Cousin, I'm gonna let you take the last one, okay? I got one more. I'm gonna let you take it.
Aspire to inspire before you expire. And that's true. Just what I just said.
This is what you just said.
It's what I just said. You want definitely, it's a parable in the Bible that really talks about the talents. And if you are, that's how I know Jesus was black. I know some black people. There were some black people, but, if you go read that story, he is just simply telling you to live your best life. Mm-hmm. He gave it to you. Don't sit on it. Mm-hmm. Go live with it. That is basically what it's saying. Turn your 1 into 2, turn your 2 into 4, turn your 5 into 10. Don't sit on it. Because he's going to ask you about it. He gonna ask you about them.
No, he
So
is.
when he asks, be ready, because that's an accountable man.
Listen, no, he is. So
I know he is.
So cousin, I wore this shirt tonight for you because we both have been to Paris. So,
Come on, Mercy.
So I just wanted to say thank you for coming on tonight, for joining in the conversation with me. I so appreciate you. I love you. Shout out to everybody who logged in. We're going to continue the conversation next week. Once God gives me the topic, I'll post it. But thank you for this first show, cousin, for coming on. The importance of your dash. I hope you all enjoyed the conversation tonight. I know you guys enjoyed my guest. Straight out of H-Town by way of Oak Cliff, the Charlie Marco. Follow her on Instagram, follow her on Facebook, and she's going to continue to do great things, and she continues to knock out that to-do list. You guys have a to-do list as well, so let's make it happen. I love you guys. See you next time.